I'm going to bring up Yalitza LaFontaine from the Alabama Coalition for Immigrant Justice, Angela Curry from United Women of Color, and Dexter Strong. Dexter's everywhere, y'all, so I don't need to tell y'all what organization he's from. He's everywhere.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming today. I want to acknowledge my co-organizers, Heather Headley and Cooper Green. Along with all the organizations that came out today, thank you so much for coming out. My name is Jalitza. I'm with the Alabama Coalition for Immigrant Justice. We fight for the rights and dignity of all immigrants across the state of Alabama. And we'd like to let you know that an 11th hour executive order doesn't fix the harm done to thousands of children and their parents. Trump's order replaces one crisis for another. Children don't belong in jail at all, even with their parents under any circumstances. Meanwhile, Trump and his administration have systematically criminalized immigration and immigrants, from revoking deferred action for childhood arrivals to ramping up intimidating ICE tactics. We're rallying around the country to tell Donald Trump and his administration to end his zero-tolerance policy of criminally prosecuting immigrants.
So what is our call to action today? If you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. That is Bishop Desmond Tutu saying, and we cannot leave here today and not do anything. This was a coming together so that we can act. So what can we do individually? This seems like a huge problem, but it's not insurmountable. We need to contact our Congress people, Senator Shelby, Mo Brooks. We need to contact these people. We have resist bots that you can text, and it will send letters for you. Faith in Action Alabama has postcards at their table where all you have to do is put your name, and they'll send it off for you. We need to share facts with other people that we know that are not here today, and control the narrative and stop the myths from going forth. We need to donate to organizations that are fighting for these immigrants and their families. We need to unite one to another. All of these tables out here represent organizations who are on the front lines or either grassroots or doing some action, work today that will help these families. So you need to make a connection with some of these organizations at the tables if you're not a part of that. And now we're going to hear from Dexter about voting.
I started preaching when I was 16 years old. My first encounter with the police happened when I was 16 years old. I was an honor student. I was a minister in the Christian church, and that did not stop them from removing me from my car, handcuffing me, patting me down, searching my vehicle when I had done nothing wrong. And immediately I got mad as hell. I spent the rest of my adolescence looking for ways to fight back. I went to college and chose a major, religious studies, so I could learn to interpret the same scriptures that they use to divide us to unite us. After I graduated, I began work with the Black Lives Matter Coalition, organized marches all around the country at seminaries. And there's something that I learned. We don't have the same resources, we don't have the same influence, and we don't have the same tactics. But there's one thing that we have. There's one great equalizer that they cannot take from us, that puts us on equal playing field, and that's our vote. As I survey the crowd, I see people who are mad, people who are frustrated, people who are upset about an unjust system which takes away children from their families. It's not enough to be mad. It's not enough to be sad. It's not enough to have compassion. You've got to be mad, but you've got to be so mad that you vote. Your social media commentary does not matter. Your arguments with your friends do not matter. What matters is a coalition of progressive voters who will stand up on the behalf of people who cannot voice outcry for themselves. Will you vote for these children? When you go into the polls and you see a name on the ballot box, you're not voting for a name. You're voting for a system of policies. And if there are people in office who do not uphold the virtues of democracy and justice, vote them out. If you are tired of politicians who use skin color as political fodder, vote them out. If you are tired of politicians who will separate children from families, vote them out. If you are tired of politicians who will use race as a tactic to divide, vote them out. And it's not enough for you guys to go and organize in minority communities and to try and turn out the black vote.
Come on now.
You've got to start fixing some people that don't look like me. You've got to start talking to your conservative friends. You've got to start speaking reason and compassion to people who don't vote with compassion and reason. We have got to change Alabama. Vote where your feet are. As we confront national issues, let's also confront the local manifestations of injustice and inequality. How has our city officials, how have our state officials been complicit in the eradication of minority voices? It's not enough for just to vote for Congress. We've got to vote for mayor, city council, state senate. If dog catchers on the ballot, we got to vote there too. It's the one tool we have. The civil rights movement was led by people who were just outraged, who didn't just do the protest part, but they did the voting part. I know because my ancestors died for it. You should know because your ancestors, the suffragettes, died for it. And we have to honor that legacy by channeling every bit of outrage and passion, not just into outcry, but into votes. See you at the polls in November.